Hi, my name is Lewis.
I'm Brooklyn.
I'm Charles.
I'm Luke.
I'm Joe.
And this is the Bible Talk podcast. This is about our trip to Kenya this summer.
Yeah, I'm Luke Norris. I'm the youth pastor over at ECRC. I run Elmhurst Youth, and I got the wonderful opportunity to go over with this group of students to Kenya to serve with a team from our church.
All right, I'll kick it off with the first question. Was this your guys' first major out-of-country missions trip, and how is it different from a local or USA missions trip?
Yeah, I would say I've never been out of the country before, so this was definitely a first missions trip. But I've been on a small missions trip in the country, and it's just in Africa there were a lot more people, and they were a lot more needy. They had a lot less stuff, so it was just good to see them and how much they loved Jesus there, even though they had so much or so little.
Yeah, so Kenya culture is just way different than here in the U.S. Like Charles mentioned, the kids just need a lot more than we do here since we're so blessed with all our stuff. And they're blessed too, obviously, but they just have more need for food and water, and they can't access it as easily.
Yeah, it was definitely my first big out of the country experience. And yeah, the culture was just so different than anything that you would do in the United States. It was really cool.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Were you guys at all hesitant, or you didn't want to know if you wanted to go on it? And then did anything change your mind about going on the trip?
Yeah, for me, I was actually really hesitant at first until my dad just told me that he really wanted me to come on this trip. So I agreed. And then, I'm super happy I went. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life.
Joe, why were you hesitant at first?
It's just so different. I'll be honest, part of it is that the plane ride was 18 hours long.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's crazy.
I was not excited for that, but
Yeah.
we got through it. And also, it's out of everyone's comfort zones, really.
Mm.
Yeah, it was definitely uncomfortable at some times, but I wouldn't say I was ever really reluctant or hesitant. Not that I didn't have a choice, but my mom kind of just said, "Hey, you're coming with us." So it was kind of always just yeah, we're gonna do it, and I was always really excited. And then after I realized how much of a gift it truly was to be able to go.
Yeah, I'd say I was never really hesitant to go. I was really excited whenever we started, or when we signed up for the trip, because when Jeff came back, or when our pastor came back the first time, I was really excited about it and wanted to go on the next one.
Yeah, I would say I was more excited than hesitant too, because all the videos my mom shared with me, and the things that she told me was going on there was really good, and they were just pouring into the lives of children. So I was very excited to experience that there, and just speaking to the children down there as well.
Yeah, Pastor Jeff, our outreach pastor at Elmhurst CRC, had gone down, I think, 2 years before, and he kind of went down to test it out and see what it was really like. I remember being in church 2 years ago, seeing videos of him dancing with the little kids and thinking, oh, I think I want to go there one time. So seeing that kind of sparked it, and I think that it also sparked something in my mom too, because she was definitely on board with the decision to go. Most people don't understand how different life here is in the U.S. until you visit a country that does not have those same opportunities.
Yeah, I would say one of the main differences I realized was the housing. The housing here is brick and stone, but there it's made out of a lot of mud and sticks, and just seeing that our houses have air conditioning and plumbing and water running, they just had none of that. So, just be grateful for what we have here.
For me, the big difference that I noticed was time. Everything in Kenya is so much slower. They, if you had, we had the day scheduled out where we had certain things at time periods, and Pastor Jeff's sermon would go 45 minutes long, and in America, if something went out of the time period that it was supposed to go, people would start freaking out. But in Kenya, it was just totally normal. And some days the day would be over by 4 and we'd get to go eat dinner, and some days we were still hanging out with the kids at 6, so you never really knew what time it was going to be. So that was just a pretty big change that I noticed.
One thing I noticed was a lot of the kids didn't have shoes, and to get to the place where we were at, a lot of them had to walk up to 10 miles on dirt roads without shoes, which is just something you don't see in America.
Yeah, I'd say like the towns are so much more spread out. It's not like the suburban ones we have here. It's just like little clumps of a few families in each spot, and then they all, I don't know, they come from everywhere.
I think something that I noticed too was the food. Like, there's no waste with the food there. There's a ton of like, if whatever you put on your plate, you eat it. The one night we had fish, and like they chopped up the fish, heads, tail, like every part of it was in there. And I remember Charles and I think it was Lewis and Joe, I think all of us were sitting at the same table.
Yeah.
And one of the little like girls who lives there came up and was teaching us how to eat the fish and was trying to get us to bite the head of it. Did you bit the head?
Yeah,
Didn't you,
we did.
Lewis? Yeah.
Well, she was like, you can't waste any of the food. And then she started scooping the eyeballs out of the fish and popping them like they were candy. And we were just like, what?
Yeah.
So it was really interesting definitely interesting to see how they don't waste anything out there. It's awesome.
For sure.
All right, what did you expect to be different but wasn't different? Whether that was like culturally or through travel or like the places that we stayed.
For me, I would say our housing there was actually very good. Nurme Missions, the what's it called?
Nurme Academy.
Nurme Academy. They built us guest houses for us, and they had great beds, indoor plumbing. So that was awesome to have. Compared to what I thought was gonna be like dirty and no water, so it was great to have that there.
For me, one thing was I thought it was gonna be really hot because I don't know, when you think Kenya, you're like, oh, it's gonna be super hot. But in August, it's actually winter there, which kind of threw me off. I don't know how that works, but it was winter, so it was actually cooler there than it was here during the summer. We were low 80s, high 70s, 60s at night. You could open your windows, so that was I was not expecting that, but that was definitely a blessing.
Yeah, I'd say the food, I was expecting it to be all like cultural or like different, but they had a really nice spread of like American food and Kenyan food, so it was cool to try both, but also have something that you could always eat there.
We can't always like grasp or hold on to everything that we experience, but what is one thing that you think you'll never forget? Like one takeaway from the trip?
What I'll never forget is how happy those kids were when we were singing and dancing. Like, almost all of them were so into it and just had the biggest smile on their faces the whole time. Especially if you like looked or smiled at them or picked them up, they would just light up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, just their smiles and just constantly smiling whenever you gave them a little bit of attention. They were all just so happy, which is something I'll never forget, I don't think.
I would say the fellowship of the leaders there. There were leaders from America, obviously, but then there was also a team of Kenyan leaders. And on the first day, we would eat dinner with them, and we kind of sat on opposite sides of the tables. And then by the last night, we were like, it was like every other, because we made such good friends with them. And the community that we found, even with language barriers and cultural differences, I think that was really something pretty neat, and I'll take that away, definitely.
You guys said good stuff. I agree with that. But also, I would say I won't forget the plane ride home. It was a lot of gross food. I was tired of it, and I just wanted to get home, so I won't forget that. And there was a random guy next to us that we didn't know, so it was a little strange, but it was fun. But very long.
I was the guy next to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think something I won't forget is definitely like the team that we went with. I think it was cool, like, to meet the team in Kenya, and like come from completely different backgrounds and situations, but really like get close. And then just the team itself that we went with from the church. I think like it's cool to come back and see those relationships so much deeper, and to see how like it's changed a lot of the way that we communicate the gospel and live out our lives here.
Yeah, I thought it was really neat how our team came together, because we had people in their high 70s and then us
Us
Shout out my
kids.
roommate.
Yeah, Don, and we all kind of like played games every night, and then by the end, like now I see them at church, and it's like, hey, what's up? And it kind of starts connections that you thought you might never have. So I think that was really neat. Do you think God used us to make a difference in Kenya?
I would say so. One example is that me and Charles, when we were in the classroom, we would have Kenyan teachers and we would have American teachers, and we just taught really differently. And the kids, like, they paid attention to us differently. Like, me and Charles would sing a song, and then they would all get up and sing with us, while the Kenyans would focus more on the like teaching aspect of it. So it's just different ways to remember the teachers.
Yeah, I think when you have other cultures coming in, it kind of makes you want to focus more. Like, say in chapel, we had a person from Kenya come and speak. I think that would be, like, me personally, I'd be like, whoa, this is really interesting. I want to listen to them. And I think for those kids, they were like, I've never really seen white people before. So it was like, whoa, maybe I should, like, this is really interesting. I mean, yeah, we got some very odd looks from the kids that were like, who are those people? So I think just maybe them questioning us was kind of a reason for them to listen.
Yeah, for sure. I think too, just the to brag on you guys, I think seeing the encouragement that you were to the staff there at Nurme specifically, like the missionaries that are stationed there on the ground that live there full time. I know Krista is from the States and from, I think she's a Timothy Christian.
Yeah, she is a
alum.
Timothy grad.
Yeah. So just the encouragement for her to like have people coming to support her in the work that the Lord's called her to do, and just to be like extra hands and feet. I think in a lot of ways they gave us more than we probably gave them, but I think in that way, like you guys definitely left a lasting impact.
Kind of off of Luke, like we weren't there to like teach the kids or run the VBS. We were there to like support the Kenyan team, and I think, yeah, we did by our supporting the staff and just encouraging them, I guess, in that way.
All right, the big question: would you do it again?
I would do it again.
Definitely.
100%.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes. It was a lot of fun.
It was
Definitely
incredible.
a new experience. So it's awesome.
I think that as humans and Christians, we grow a lot when we're put in uncomfortable or unusual situations. So I think it's important for our faith that we branch out and find things that maybe we're not used to. So whether that's going back to Kenya or going somewhere else, I think that God always works when you're out of your comfort zone.
I would definitely go again, and I would encourage anyone who has the option to go to just go. You won't regret it.
Thanks for listening. Catch you next time on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That sounds so awful.
Yeah, I can't.
That is awful.
Our type.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what I'm saying.
I think I understand the point you're trying
Can I say
make.
something? Like I could
can't
say
do
that. I could say that so much better than
No,
him.
no, I need him
I
to.
can't think straight.
Yeah, he's
No,
he's
your
concussed.
point is good, but
You can say like because we were just different and didn't had no, and you know
You know what? Someone else can just answer this question.